Hi everyone, in this video I am going to solve Cambridge International AS and A-Level Mathematics Paper 1 Pure Mathematics 1 in a session February-March 2023 Paper 1-2. So let's start with the first question. Question number 1, a line has equation and a curve has equation where k is a constant. Show that the line and the curve meet for all values of k. So basically, we need to find the point of intersection of the line and the curve, and we have to show that the line and curve meet for all values of k. Means we need to show that the discriminant b square minus 4ac should be greater than equals to 0. This we have to show. So let me start with the equation of line and the curve. Put equation of line equals equation of curve. Okay, so when we substitute, we can say y value is this, and over here we have x square minus kx plus 2 would be equals to the y value, which is 3x minus 2k. All right, now we have to solve it. So x square minus kx plus 2, shift all the terms to the left, so minus 3x and plus 2k. This is equals to 0. So x square minus 3x minus 3k, 3 minus kx and minus 3x is x terms, and 2 and 2k are the constant terms. Now we can say x square minus is outside, k plus 3 is a coefficient of x square, and 2 plus 2k, this is your constant term, equals to 0, right? Okay, now we have to solve the discriminant. So before solving the discriminant, we have to clear that a term is 1. So a is 1. The a is basically the coefficient of x square, b is minus k plus 3, and c is 2 plus 2k, the constant term. Now we need to show, we can say when line and curve meet for all values of k, we need to show that b square minus 4ac should be greater than equals to 0. Okay, so let me solve the discriminant. So here we have, let me solve b square minus 4ac, and that is, b is this, so minus k plus 3 its whole square minus 4 times the a value and the c value. Now this is k plus 3 whole square minus 4 into 2 plus 2k. This is k square, and plus 2 times 3 is 6k, plus 3 square is 9. I opened a plus b whole square. The a square plus 2ab plus b square minus 4 times 2 is 8 minus 8k. And here we have k square and 6k and 8k minus 2k and minus and plus 1, because from 9 take away 8 is just 1, and this is k minus 1 whole square. Okay, now when we solve the discriminant, this is k minus 1 whole square, and this discriminant, you can see this is greater than equals to 0 for all values of k. You can see when you put the positive values of k, negative values of k, including the 0, its square is always positive. So this implies k minus 1 whole square is greater than equals to 0. So line and curve meet for all values of k. So you can put k equals to 0 1, minus 1, 2, minus 2, your discriminant is always greater than equals to 0. It is always positive. So it means the line and the curve meets for all values of k. Question number 2. A function f is defined by f of x is a quadratic function for x belongs to all real numbers. A sequence of transformation is applied in the following order to the graph of y equals to f of x to give the graph of y equals to g of x. Okay, so we have three transformations. Find g of x, give your answer in the form of ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b, c are constants. Okay, so the first transformation, we have three transformation: first, second, and third. The first transformation is stretch parallel to x-axis with the scale factor of 1 by 2. So the first transformation is basically stretch in x direction, stretch in x direction. So whenever we have a stretch in x direction, how can we change f of x? F of x changes to f of ax. The x values are multiplying with that scale factor. Now here the scale factor is 1 by 2, right? So we have to take a reciprocal for whenever we have a stretch in x direction, with the scale factor is always a reciprocal, but not in y directions. Okay. Now in this case, we have f of x is x square minus 2x plus 5. This is my f of x. Now the a value is 2. Here the a value is 2. So what is f of 2? F of 2x is 2x square minus 2 into 2x plus 5. Just x is replacing with 2x. Further simplification, f of 2x is 4x square minus 4x plus 5. So the first one is a stretch in x direction by a scale factor of a. So whenever we have a stretch in x direction by a scale factor of a, so the x value of the function is multiplying by that scale factor, and that scale factor is always a reciprocal. All right, now for the second one, we have a reflection. Reflection in y-axis. So whenever we have a reflection in y-axis, reflect the shape in y-axis, so x values are reversed. So f of x changes to f of minus x. Okay, now let me solve what is f of minus 2x. 4 minus x square, 4 into minus x plus 5. So that is 4x square plus 4x plus 5. Okay. Now the third transformation is we have a stretch parallel to y-axis with a scale factor of 3. So here we have a stretch in y direction. So when we have a stretch in y direction, it is multiplied with the function. So f of x is multiplied with a times f of x. So that a is a scale factor, the stretch by how much it is stretched. So here the scale factor, in this case the a value is 3. Okay, now we can find out the equation. So f of minus 2x is 4x square plus 4x plus 5. So when you have a stretch in y direction, the whole function is multiplied by that stretch. So 3 by a scale factor of 3. So we can say this is 3 times 4 is 12x squared, 3 times 4 is 12x, 3 times 5 is 15. So that is a function g of x. This implies g of x is 12x square plus 12x plus 15. We need to figure out g of x in the form of ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b, c are constants. So this is a function g of x. All right. Now question number 3. A curve has equation. We have given the equation of a curve and a point is moving along the curve. There is some point. Find the x coordinate of the point on the curve. We need to figure out that x coordinate of the point which is moving along the curve, at which the x and y coordinates are increasing at the constant rate. Okay, so when x and the y coordinates are increasing at a constant rate, it means dy over dx, the rate of the x and the y coordinate, that is equals to 1 at a constant rate. So that constant rate we have to always assume as equals to 1, right? Constant rate or same rate, both are same things. So x and the y coordinates, so dx over dy, are increasing at the same rate. It means we need to differentiate y with respect to x, and the same rate is it is the most obvious is equating it to equals to 1. Okay, so let me figure out what is dy over dx. 1 over 60 is a constant, and the power rule of integration differentiation is power base power minus 1, and the derivative of base function is just 3. Okay, so now dy over dx, this becomes 2 times 3 6, 6 over 60 into 3x plus 1 to the power of 1. Okay, now dy over dx, this is 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 10 is 60, and 3x plus 1. Okay, now we can say, since x and y increases at the same rate, so we can say dx over dy equals to 1. Dy over dx, that is equals to 1. Equate it equals to 1 and solve for x. So 1 over 10 into 3x plus 1, this is equals to 1. Cross multiplied, 3x plus 1 equals to 10 times 1 is 10. Okay, here 3x becomes 10. Now shift the 1 on the other side, minus 1. So here 3x would be equals to 9, and x is equals to 9 divided by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So x value is 3. So this is the x coordinate of the point which is moving along the curve when the x and the y coordinate are increasing at the same rate. Let me elaborate this statement that x and the y coordinates are increasing at the same rate. It means the rate of change of x with respect to time and the rate of change of y with respect to time, both are equal. So we can say rate of change of x or y with respect to time are equal. It means dy over dt is equals to dx over dt. So rate of change of x with respect to time or rate of change of y with respect to time is equal. So they are increasing at the same rate, right? So dx is cancelled out with dx. Now here do we have dy cross multiplied dx, and that is equals to 1. This is why dy over dx is 1. Question number 4. The circumference around the trunk of a large tree is measured and found to be 4.55 meters. After 1 year, the circumference is measured again and found to be 5.02 meters. Okay. Part A. Given that the circumference at yearly interval forms an arithmetic progression, find the circumference 20 years after the first measurement. After 1 year, this is the first measurement, right? So for arithmetic progression, the first term is 5.00, the next term is 5.02, and so on. So what is a common difference? The d value. The d value is 5.02 minus 5.00, that is equals to 0.02. That is your d value, right? Now we need to measure the arithmetic progression for find the circumference 20 years when the t value is 20. So Tn is equals to a plus n minus 1 into d. So when n value is 20, the d value is 0.02. So keep it in mind that in this question they said find the circumference 20 years. So d is 0.02, t is 20. Now what is the a after the first measurement? So what is the first measurement? After 1 year, the circumference is measured again and found to be this. So this is the first measurement. So 5.02, this is the first measurement. It should be after the first measurement. So this is sorry, that's the first measurement. The circumference around the trunk of a large tree is measured and found. So this is a first measurement, and after the first measurement, this is after the first measurement. Sorry, I beg your pardon. So after the first measurement, now we have to consider this A value. I hope this is clear that how I got D, how I got T, and how I got the A value. Now plug everything. So T20, the A value is 5.02. This is the value. This is a first measurement, and after the first measurement, that is your A value. Plus N is 20 minus 1, D value 0.02. So T20 is equals to 5.02 plus 19 into 0.02. Let me simplify this further. 19 times 0.02, that is 0.38. So T20 is 5.02 plus 0.38, and add this with 5.02, and the simplified answer for the 20th term is 5.4. 5.40 meters, we can say. So we can say for the circumference 20 years after the first measurement is 5.40 meters. Now for part B, given instead that the circumference at yearly intervals form a geometric progression, find the circumference 20 years after the first measurement again. So now for geometric progression, the first term is 5.00, the second term is 5.02. For geometric progression and up to so on, what is a common ratio? R value is the second term divided by the first term. So let me simplify. 5.02 divides 5.00, that is 1.004. So the common ratio is 1.004. It is a geometric progression, right? And the n term is 20 we need to solve. And what is the a term? The first after the first, this is the first measurement, and after the first measurement is 5.02. Now plug everything into the term formula. So Tn for a geometric progression is a r to the power n minus 1. So T20, the first term is 5.02, and r is 1.004, and is 20 minus 1, that is 19. 1.004 to the power of 19 and multiply it with 5.02, that is 5.4. I can say T20 is 5.4155. Okay, so we need to round this to the 20th term is 5.42 meters. Okay. Question number 5, points A, which is 712, and B lies on a circle with equation with center. So center of a circle we have given, and the line AB has equation this. Find the coordinates of B. Let's say this is a circle, and we have the center of a circle has a coordinate x is -2 and the y coordinate is 5. Okay, we have a point A and B which lies on the circle, right? A and B, both points are on the circle. So let's say we have a point A which is 7, 12. X is 7 and the y value is 12. We have a point A which is 7 and 12, and there is some point B which we need to figure out the coordinates of B. These 2 points lies on the circle, and we also have given the information about the line AB. All right. So we have the equation of this line AB, A to B. We have equation of this line AB. Okay. So first thing first, let me write down the equation of circle. Equation of circle. Equation of circle is x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square equals to radius square. So a and b are the center. A value is -2 and the b value is 5. So here we can say where a and b, this is a coordinate of center which is -2 and 5. So let me plug this thing. So we can say x minus -2 is +2 whole square, y minus 5 whole square equals to radius square. Now we need to figure out what is the radius. Since the point A lies on the circle, it must satisfy the equation of circle. Okay. So we can say since A, which is 7 and 12, lies on the circle, it must satisfy equation of circle. So let me plug the point into the circle. X is 7 plus 2 whole square and the y value is 12 minus 5 whole square equals to radius square. 7 plus 2 is 9, 9 whole square, and from 12 take away 5, that is equals to 7. 7 square equals to radius square. 9 square is 81 and 7 square is 49, that is radius square. And what is the sum of 81 and 49? 130. So 130 is a value for r square, right? Now plug this value into the equation of circle and we will get the new equation of circle, the complete equation of circle. So the equation of circle becomes x plus 2 whole square plus y minus 5 whole square equals to 130. That is the equation of circle. Now we have an equation of circle and we have the line AB, the equation of the line AB. As we know that the equation of line AB intersect the circle at 2 points. The first point is A and second is B. A is given, we can easily get the B coordinates, right? Now we need to figure out the points of intersection of line and curve. Points of intersection of circle and line AB. Alright. Now for line AB, the y value is minus 2x plus 26. So plug the y value over here. X plus 2 whole square plus y value is minus 2x plus 26 minus 5 whole square equals to 130. This is x square plus 2 times 2 is 4x and 2 square is 4, and plus this is minus 2x and this is plus 21 whole square equals to 130. So x square plus 4x plus 4. Now open the square. This is 4x square and minus 2ab. So minus 2 into 2 into 21, which is minus 84. Minus 84x and 21 square is 441 minus 130. I shifted the 130 on the other side. So I opened the square. A plus b whole square. The first term square minus 2x whole square is 4x square. 21 square is 441 and minus 2 the first term into the second term, which give us minus 84. Now here we have x squares are 5. 4 plus 1 is 5x square. These two are the x terms. From 84 take away 4 is just 80 minus 80x, the constant terms. These are the constant term. 441 add up with 4 and subtract 130, that is 315. So plus 315, that is equals to 0. So you can see all the terms are divisible by 5. So let me divide all the terms by 5 on both sides. 5 by 5 is just 1. 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 7, 8, 30. 5 times 6 is 30. And 315 divided by 5 is 63. Plus 63 equals to 0. Now let me factorize this. 7 times 9 is 63. Yes. 1 times 63 is 63. We do 1 times 63 is 63. 7 times 9 is 63, and if we can do 7 plus 9 is 16. So minus 7 minus 9 is minus 16. Let me break the midterm. X square minus 7x minus 9x plus 63 equals to 0. Take x common, we are left with x minus 7, negative 9 common, x minus 7. Inside the bracket, the factors are same. So x minus 7 is a factor and x minus 9 is the factor equals to 0. So from here x minus 7 equals to 0, or we can say x minus 9 equals to 0. Here the x coordinate is 7 and here the x coordinate is 9. As we know that this circle intersect the line at 2 points. The x coordinate is 7 and the x coordinate is 9. So the 7x, when x coordinate is 7, the y coordinate 12 is given, the a point. Let me figure out what is a y coordinate when x value is 9, right? Now we can say when x is equals to 9, we need to substitute x value equals to 9. So y equals to minus 2 into 9 plus 26. Y equals to 2 times 9 is 18 plus 26. 26 minus 18 is 8. So y coordinate is 8. Right. Now we can say the coordinates of B are, now the B coordinates, the x is 9 and the y coordinate is 8. So these are the coordinates for point B where the circle meet the line AB. Question number 6, in the expansion of this, it is given that the coefficient of x 4 divides the coefficient of x is 3. Find the possible values of a constant a. The possible values we need to figure out. Okay. So let me open the expansion. X over a plus a over x square to the power 7. And we have to figure out the x4 term and the x term. So the first term to the power of 7 plus 7c1, the first term to the power of 6 and the second term to the power of 1 plus 7c2, the first term and its power is 5 now, and the second term power is a square, and so on. Okay, now this is x to the power 7 term, and here x6 and x square, so square and square x4 term, this will gives you x4 term. This is x5 and this is x4, so 4 and 5 cancelled out, so 5 minus 1, so x term. This is x term, this is x to the power 4 term, so no need to expand it further. Okay, so first we need to figure out x to the power 4 term. So x to the power 4 term is 7c1 x6 over a6 a over x square. Okay, so as we know 7c1 is just 7, x to the power 6 over x to the power 2 a over a to the power 6, right? Now we have 7 x to the power 6 minus 2 and a to the power 1 minus 6. This is 7 x to the power 4 and a to the power minus 5. So we can say 7 over a5 x4. Right. Now let me figure out what is the x term. So the x term is 7c2 x5 over a5 a square, and x square square would be x to the power 4. Okay, 7c2. 7c2 is 21. So that is equals to 21 x to the power 5 over x to the power 4 a to the power 2 and a to the power 5. And here we have 21 x to the power 5 minus 4 and a to the power 2 minus 5. So 21 x to the power 1 and a to the power minus 3, or we can say 21 over a cube is a coefficient of x. Okay, now we have given this information, so plug everything. Here we have given that coefficient of x4, which is 7 over a5, divides the coefficient of x is equals to 3. Or we can say 7 over a5 multiply a cube over 21, that is equals to 3. Okay, now 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 3 is 21, so a cube and this is 2 is left. So 1 over a square multiply 1 over 3, that is equals to 3. Okay, now we have to cross multiply it. 1 over a square is 3 times 3, that is equals to 9. Okay, reciprocal on both sides or cross multiplied, 1 over 9 would be equals to a square. Now taking a square root on both sides, so the square root over here and the square root over here, and whenever we apply the square root on both sides, it is plus minus, right? Okay, now this gives you a and this gives you plus minus 1 over 3. So these are the two possible values for the constant a, which is plus minus 1 over 3. Question number 7, part A. By first obtaining a quadratic equation in cos theta, solve the equation tan theta sin theta equals to 1 for theta is between 0 to 360 degrees. So first we need to obtain the quadratic equation in cos theta, right? So tangent is a ratio for ratio of sine over cos. So tangent theta is basically sine theta over cos theta into sine theta, that is equals to 1. Okay, and here we have sine times sine is sine square theta over cos theta, that is equals to 1. Okay, cross multiplied, we can say sine square theta is equals to 1 into cos theta, and we know that the use the identity that cos square theta plus sine square theta is equals to 1. So what is sine square theta? That is 1 minus cos square theta. So plug the substitute the value over here, 1 minus cos square theta, and that is cos theta. Now shift all the terms to the left side, so 0 would be equals to cos square theta. This term is positive, cos theta is already on the left, so it is already positive, and minus 1. Now this is a quadratic equation in cos theta. So we have obtained the quadratic equation in cos theta. Now we have to solve when theta is between 0 to 360 degree. Okay, now apply quadratic formula. So we can say apply quadratic formula. So we have a quadratic formula which is cos theta would be equals to minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac divides 2 times of a. Now what is a? A is a coefficient of cos square theta, which is 1. B is a coefficient of cos theta, which is 1. C is a constant term, which is minus 1. Okay. Now let me simplify. We have cos theta, the b value is 1 root 1 square minus 4 into 1 into minus 1 divides 2 times of 1. The a value is 1. Now from here cos theta is equals to minus 1 plus minus root 1 plus 4 divided by 2. Cos theta is equals to minus 1 plus minus root 5 by 2. So here we have two cases, first with a positive and other with a negative one. Now here we have cos theta is equals to minus 1 plus root 5 divided by 2, or we can say cos theta is equals to minus 1 minus root 5 divided by 2. Let me simplify both of them. It should be in degrees. My calculator is in radians. Convert it into degree mode. Right. Minus 1 plus root 5 divided by 2 So here cos theta is 0.62, okay, and minus 1 minus root 5 divided by 2, and here cos theta is minus 1.62. Okay, so from here we have no solution. Why we have no solution? Because range of cosine is between minus 1 and plus 1, and this value is less than minus 1, so minus 1.6 if we round it to minus 2. So we have no solution, or you can also check what is cos inverse of this. So it has no solution, right? So we have only solution from here. So here cos is positive, so we need to check their cos is positive in which quadrant according to the coordinate diagram, right? So if I can draw the coordinate diagram over here. All right. Now for the first quadrant, all trigonometric ratios are positive. In second quadrant, sine is positive. In third quadrant, tan is positive. And the fourth quadrant, cos is positive. Now cos is positive in first and fourth quadrant, and the domain we have given is from 0 to 360 degree. So that is theta. And here we have 180 minus theta. Here we do 180 plus theta, and here we do 360 degree minus theta. Theta is basically the basic angle, right? Now let me solve for the basic angle from here. So let me arrange this equation. So cos theta is equals to 0.62. So solve for the basic angle. Basic angle is basically theta would be equals to cos inverse of 0.62. Cos inverse 0.62, that is 51.6. Now for part B, show that the left hand side equals to right hand side. So let me start from the left hand side. The left hand side is tan theta over sine theta minus sine theta over tan theta. Okay, so we can switch the ratios. Tangent is basically sine over cos, sine theta over cos theta, multiply 1 over sine theta minus sine theta, and tangent is a ratio of sine over cos, so sine theta over cos theta. We can cancel sine with sine. Here we are left with 1 over cos theta, okay, and minus sine theta, and take a reciprocal, so cos over sine. Again sine is cancelled with sine, so we are left with 1 over cos theta minus cos theta. Okay, take an LCM. So 1 minus cos into cos would be cos square theta over cos theta. And 1 minus cos square, we know the identity I'm using over here is cos square theta plus sine square theta is 1. And sine square theta is 1 minus cos square theta. So I just going to substitute 1 minus cos square with sine square. This is sine square theta over cos theta. So we can separate sine square into sine theta and divides the cos theta. And we know the ratio of sine over cos is tangent theta. So this is tangent theta and sine theta. And that is my right hand side. It is proved. Tangent and sine, tan theta, sine theta. Question number 8. The diagram shows a triangle ABC. A, B, and C is a triangle in which angle B is a right angle. The length of AB is 8 centimeter. A to B, this length is 8 because 5 plus 3 gives you 8. The length of AB is 8. Okay. This length is 8 centimeter. And the length of BC is 4 centimeter. The point D on AB, D is a point on AB such that D to AD is 5. Okay, so A to D is 5. The sector DAC, D, A, and C. This is a sector is a part of a circle with the center D. If D is a center, then D to A is 5, D to C is also 5. Okay. Find the part A, find the parameter of the shaded region. Parameter of a shaded region is basically sum of all sides. So we need to find out the side length AC for this right angle triangle and the arc length AC. Right. So parameter is side length AC plus arc length AC. It is in degrees because it's at 90 degrees, right? So first thing we need to figure out what is AC. So if I consider this right angle triangle, so AB is 8, B to C is 5, 4. We can easily find out the hypotenuse. The base and the perpendicular is given. Find out the hypotenuse by using Pythagoras theorem, right? So here we can say consider triangle A, B, and C. AB is 8, B to C is 4, and solve for AC. AC square equals to 8 square plus 4 square. So AC square is 8 times 8 is 64, 4 times 4 is 16, 64 plus 16, 80, and root of 80 is 4 root 5, that is 80, and AC is root the square root of 80, which is equals to 4 root 5. 4 root 5 is the length of AC, right? This length of AC is 4 root 5. Okay. Now we need to figure out the arc length, right? So for arc length, the formula is radius times theta. We have for this arc, the radius is 5, but we don't have theta. What is that theta? We need to figure out. Okay. So let us suppose this triangle B, D, B, and C. We have all the three sides. Let me figure out what is this angle. Let's say this angle is beta. So here we can say consider triangle D, B, and C. So for right angle triangle, we can use the trigonometric ratios. So we have opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent, hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent. Everything is given. So this is up to you which ratio you want to find out. So if you can use sine beta, the opposite is 4, the hypotenuse is 5, or cos beta is adjacent over hypotenuse, or tan beta is opposite over adjacent. You will get same answers from all these three. So let me solve for beta, which is sine inverse of 4 over 5. It is okay. All right. So in this question, we do not have mentioned that this right angle is 90 degree or pi by 2. So this is your choice. You can keep it in radians or keep solve the questions in radian or solve this question in degree mode. This is up to you. You will get the same answer from both. So I'm doing in the radian mode. So my calculator is in degree mode. So let me convert it into radians and find sine inverse of 4 over 5. That is 0.92 729. And if you do cos inverse of 3 by 5, 0.927, and we do tangent inverse of 4 over 3, 0.927, all the answers are same. That is 0.9273, up to 4 decimal place, right? Now, what is, as we know that this is a straight line because it is a right angle triangle, so this line is straight, and this, the sum of this angle is equals to 180 degree, or now we consider it pi because I'm using in radians. So here we can say, since AB is a straight line, so when AB is a straight line, their angle sum should be equals to pi. So we can say theta plus beta, their sum should be equals to pi. So what is theta? Theta is pi minus beta. So Let me solve for theta from here. So theta would be equals to the pi minus 0.9273. Okay. Pi takeaway answer. Theta is 2.2143. Theta is 2.2143 radians. Okay. Now let me figure out what is the arc length. Now the arc length AC is radius times theta. The radius is 5 and the theta is 2.2143. This multiplying by 5, 11.07. 11.07. Okay. Now let me substitute everything into the parameter. So we have the side length and we have the arc length. The arc length is 11.07. Now let me solve for the parameter. We can say parameter is the sum of the arc length AC and the sum of the side length AC for the shaded area only. The side length AC and the arc length AC, both add both of them, and here you will get plus 4 root 5, 20.01, 20.01 rounded to 2, 20.02 is the parameter, or we can say the parameter is equals to 20 centimeters. That is the parameter. Now for part B, find the area of the shaded region. Look at the shaded region. So how do we get the area of this shaded region? So area of a shaded region is basically we need to figure out the area of the triangle AD, area of the whole sector ADC. D, A and C, area of this sector, subtract area of this triangle because it is not shaded. So we can say shaded area is area of sector DAC minus area of triangle ADC. Right. Let me work on it. So the shaded area becomes area of a sector has a formula half radius square theta, and area of a triangle is half AB sine C. So now the area becomes, we have half. Now what is a radius and what is a theta? For this sector, the radius is 5 and we have done the theta value which is 2.2143 radians. So radius is 5, take it square, and the theta is 2.214. Okay, and minus 1 over 2 for the triangle. As you can see, the triangle is, this is A, this is B, and the sine of angle between them. The two sides are 5 and 5, and sine of 2.2143. That theta, right? Okay, let me simplify it further. So area becomes, this is 2.214 multiply 5 square and divided by 2. That is 27.675, and sine 2.2143 multiply 5 divided by 2 minus 9.99, and 27.675 subtract answer 17 point, area is 17.67 rounded to 7 centimeter square. That is the area for the shaded region. Question number 9. The function f is defined by f of x is a quadratic function for x is less than equals to minus 1. Part A, state the range of f. Okay. So let me input the values from the domain and find out the outputs, that is the range. So if I can draw the number line, so here we have 0, -1, -2, -3. So x values are 1 and less than -1. So these values basically we have to cover in the domain 1 and less than equals to -1. Okay, so for to get output, right, we have to give the input to the function like x equals to -1, -2, -3, and so on, and the output will generate, and the output will decide that what is the range of that function, right? So let's start. So f of -1 is -3 into -1 square plus 2. That is -3 into 1 plus 2. This is -3 plus 2. That is -1. And what is f of -2? -3 into -2 square plus 2. This is -3. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 2. And this is -12 plus 2. And that is -10, and so on. So with the help of this, we can assume that when you give the input -1, -2, you're again getting the outputs which are -1 and less than -1. So here we can say range of f of x is y values. We can say the y values are less than equals to -1 and less than -1. That is the range of the function. Okay, now for part b, find an expression for f inverse of x. So for f inverse of x, the first thing is to put y equals to f of x. So y would be equals to -3x square plus 2. Switch the variables, x is equals to -3y square plus 2, and then solving for y. So x minus 2 would be equals to -3y square. X minus 2 divides -3, this is your y square. Or we can say y square is 2 minus x over 3. What I did over here, I took the negative sign common from the numerator. So it becomes x is negative and 2 is positive, and cancel both of them. Now to get the y value, we have to take a square root on both sides. And when we do squaring on both sides, the answer should be in plus and minus. Now this is cancelled out. So from here, the y value is plus minus square root of 2 minus x over 3. Now this is your f inverse of x. Now we can fix what is my f inverse of x, right? It is positive or it's negative, right? So as we know that domain of f inverse is basically the range of f. So we have done the range of f, that it should be less than equals to -1. This is a range of f. Range of f is y is less than equals to -1. Now the domain of f inverse should be y values should be less than equals to -1. So this is your f inverse when it is less than or equals to -1, when you have a negative, because square root of any number is always positive. So any expression under the square root is gives us the positive answer. How we make it a negative one? When you put a negative sign outside the function. So we can say the expression for f inverse, I hope this is clear now. We have negative root of 2 minus x over 3, because root of 2 minus x over 3 always positive. Multiply by negative gives you the negative answer. So its domain should be less than equals to -1. The function g is defined by g of x is minus x square minus 1 for x is less than equals to -1. Part c, solve the equation g f of x minus f g of x minus g f of x plus 8 equals to 0. Okay, we need to solve this equation, basically solving for the x values, right? So if I can say g f g of x minus g f of x plus 8 equals to 0. So let me write down the function f of x over here. F of x is given, which is -3x square plus 2. Okay. All right. Now f g of x is minus x square minus 1 minus g f of x is minus 3x square plus 2 and plus 8 is equals to 0. Now when we apply f of x, the x values are this, right? So minus 3, the x values are minus x square minus 1, its whole square, and plus 2 minus. Now with g of something means g of x, this just x is squared minus this whole thing is squared minus 3x square plus 2 whole square, and negative 1 is a part of g of x plus 8 equals to 0. I hope this is clear now. Okay, now minus 3 is outside. Let me open the square. So we can take a negative 1, negative, and this negative is common. So we can say x square is x to the power 4 plus 2x square plus 1, right? Because negative, both terms have negative sign. We can take a negative sign common and make it a positive. So negative square is positive and x square plus 1 is left. Okay, so plus 2 is outside. Now we have minus. Okay, this is minus. So open the bracket, square a plus b whole square. So the first term square is 9x to the power 4 minus 2 into 3 into x, 2 into 2 into 3. So 2 into 2 into 3 is 12. So negative 12x square, 2 square is 4 minus 1 and plus 8 equals to 0. Further simplify, minus 3 is multiplying with x4 plus 2x square plus 1 and plus 2. So negative times negative is positive, 9x4 minus 12x square plus 4, and this negative with negative is positive 1 and plus 8 equals to 0. Simplify this thing, minus 3x to the power 4 minus 3 times 2 is 6x square minus 3 plus 2 plus 9x to the power 4 minus 12x square plus 4 plus 1 plus 8. Let me simplify. So these are x4 terms. So from 9 take away 3 is 6x to the power 4. And these are 2x square term. 12 and 6 is negative 18x square. Okay, and the constant terms are, we have minus 3 and plus 2, minus 3 plus 2, and we have 4, 1 and 8, plus 4 plus 1 plus 8, 12. So it's positive 12 equals to 0. All the terms are divisible by 2. Let me divide all the terms by 2. Or we can divide it by 6. 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 2 is 12. So all the terms are divisible by 6 as well. Okay, so x to the power 4 minus 3x to the power 2 plus 2 equals to 0. Okay, now this look like a quadratic equation, but here we have to do a supposition. We can say let x square equals to t and x to the power 4 equals to t square, and solve for the equation. Okay, now this is t square minus 3t plus 2 equals to 0. Okay, now 1 times 2 is 2, and minus 1 minus 2 gives you minus 3. So t square minus t minus 2t plus 2 equals to 0. Let's take t common. T minus 1 is left. Negative 2 is common. T minus 1 is left. The two factors are t minus 1 and t minus 2 equals to 0. Okay. Now t minus 1 is separate, t equals to 0, and t minus 2 is also equals to 0. So the t value is 1 over here and t value is 2. Now put it back, both the values. Since we have supposed that the t is x square, so here x square is 1 and x square is 2. Okay. Now we do a squaring on both sides to get rid of the square. So x square and the square root, this is plus minus root 1, and x square and the square root, and this is plus minus root 2. So cancelled out. So here the x value is plus minus 1 and here the x value is plus minus root 2. Okay, now as you can see, the domain for g of x is less than equals to 1, and the domain of f of x is also less than equals to minus 1. X values are minus 1 and less than minus 1. So here we have to pick those values of x which are minus 1 or less than minus 1. We can say for x is less than equals to minus 1, the desired solution is negative 1 and x is equals to negative root 2. So we just have to consider the negative solutions, not the positive ones. So these are the two values for x. Question number 10, at a point on a curve, the gradient of the curve is this. It is given that dy by dx is this, where k is a constant. Parties show that the k value is negative 2. So we have given that the gradient of the curve dy over dx at the point 4 minus 1 should be equals to minus 3 by 2. Use the statement. At the point 4 minus 1 on the curve, the gradient of the curve should be equals to minus 3 by 2 at this point. And we have given the gradient of the curve, which is x 4 to the power minus 1 by 2 plus k, and that is equals to minus 3 by 2. Okay, now let me solve for k. Okay, now what is k? K is equals to minus 3 by 2 and minus 4 to the power minus 1 by 2. Okay, now 4 to the power negative 1 divided by 2 is 1 by 2. So we can say k value is minus 3 by 2 and minus 1 by 2. Now the bases are same, we can add the power. So k is minus 3 and minus 1 divided by 2. So k is minus 4 divided by 2. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, that is negative 2. So we have proved that the k value is negative 2. We need to show this. So k value is negative 2. Now for part B, find the equation of curve. So we have given dy over dx is x to the power minus 1 by 2 plus k, which is equals to 2. We have to find out the equation for curve. For this we have to integrate both sides with respect to dx, right? So dx is cancelled with dx, derivative is cancelled with this integral, we are just left with y, that is the equation of curve. So applying the power rule of integration, which is x to the power plus 1 divides power plus 1 plus 2, and we have some x and plus constant of integration. Okay, so this is 2 and 2 minus 1 is 1 by 2. So y is x to the power 1 by 2 over 1 by 2 plus 2x plus c. So y is 1 by 2, reciprocal is 2 by 1, 2x to the power 1 by 2 plus 2x plus c. Now to get the constant of integration, we have given that this point is on the curve. So this point lies on the curve, it must satisfy the curve. So we have a point 4 minus 1 lies on the curve. When it lies on the curve, it must satisfy the curve, right? Y value is minus 1, the x value is 4. So 2, 4 to the power 1 by 2 plus 2 into 4 plus c. Let me solve for c. So it's minus 1 and 4 to the power of 1 by 2 is 2 and 2 times 2 is 4, that is equals to 4. 2 times 4 is 8 plus c. Minus 1 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 plus c. Minus 1 minus 12, that is minus 13 is your c value. We got the c value. Sorry students, I messed up. The k value is negative 2. So here we have negative 2, right? With just one negative sign, everything is changed. Okay, now this is negative 8 and we will get negative 4 over here, and shift the 4 on the other side, positive 4, and we will get 3. Yeah, the c value is 3. Now we can say the equation of curve is y is equals to 2 root x minus 2x plus 3. This is equation of curve. All right. Now for part C, find the coordinates of stationary point. So to get the coordinates means x and y coordinate of the stationary point. So keep it in mind, for stationary point we need to put first derivative dy over dx is equals to 0. And we have given the first derivative in the question, that it is equals to, the first derivative is 1 over root x plus some k, and the k value is negative 2. So we can say the first derivative is 1 over root x minus 2 would be equals to 0. Let me solve for the x coordinate and then plug into the curve to get the y coordinate. Okay, now we can say 1 over root x with positive sign. This would be equals to 2. Shift the 2 on the other side, cross multiplied. So 1 by 2 is equals to root x. Squaring on both sides, the square and the square root is cancelled. 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4. That is your x coordinate, right? Now substitute this x value into the curve to get the y coordinate. So now the y coordinate is, the curve is 2 root x minus 2 into x and plus 3. Okay. So here you will get 2 into 1 over 2 minus 1 by 2 plus 3. 2 and 2 is cancelled, and 1 plus 3 minus 1 by 2. 1 plus 3 is 4, right? And 4 plus minus 4 minus 1 by 2 is 7 by 2. So that is 7 by 2. So now we can say the coordinates of stationary points are, the x coordinate is 1 by 4 and the y coordinate is 7 by 2. So these are the coordinates for the stationary points. Okay. Now for part D, determine the nature of the stationary point. To get the nature of the stationary point, we need to take a second derivative, d2y over dx square. Okay, so basically d over dx of the first function, which is x to the power minus 1 by 2 minus 2, the derivative of this function. So that is power base power minus 1, and minus 2 derivative is just 0. So that is minus 1 by 2 and x to the power minus 3 by 2, or yeah, that's fine. So now for the nature of the stationary point, which is 1 over 4 and 7 by 2, we need to plug the stationary point into your second derivative and find out the nature. d2y over dx square at x is equals to 1 by 4. Let me simplify, which is minus 1 over 2. X value is 1 over 4 to the power of minus 3 by 2. Okay, 1 by 4 to the power minus 3 by 2, and multiply it by minus 1 divided by 2. That is negative 4. So this is less than 0. When the second derivative is negative or less than 0, then we can say the stationary point is maximum. The nature is maximum because the second derivative is negative. Question number 11. The curve with the diagram shows the curve with equation. We have given the equation of the curve and the points A and B lies on the curve. The equation of the curve is given and these 2 points lies on the curve. Part A, find the equation of the line AB. Okay, to get the equation of the line AB, the first thing is we need to find out what is the slope of AB or the gradient of AB, which has a formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so A and B, x1, y1, x2, y2, y2 minus y1, minus 1 minus 2, x2 is 2 minus x1 is 5. This is negative 3 and this is negative 3. Yeah, that is 1. So 1 is the slope of the line AB. Now for equation of line has a formula y minus y naught is equals to m into x minus x naught. So we can write x naught and y naught can be any point. You can pick A or you can pick B. Both are okay, right? Okay. So we can say y. If you can pick the A value, right? This is also fine. So for the point x naught, this is your m. So the A is your x naught and y naught, 5 and 2. And your m value is 1. Okay. Y minus 2, the m value is 1 into x minus 5. So y minus 2 equals to x minus 5. That is the equation of the line AB. Okay. Now for part B, find the volume of revolution when the region between the curve and the line AB is rotated 360 degree about y-axis. The region between the line and the curve means this shaded one is rotated 360 degree about y-axis. So we need to use a formula. Volume of y is equals to pi integration AB x square and dy. Now with respect to y, we have to use the limits of y, right? So the y limits, you guys can see here, the y value is -1, and here the y value is +2. So we have to integrate between -1 and 2. So let me use this y volume. This would be pi integration from -1 to 2. We have given x, take it square, which is equals to y square plus 1 whole square and dy. Let me open the square, so the volume becomes pi and integration from -1 to 2. This is xy to the power 4 plus 2y square plus 1 dy. I opened the formula a plus b whole square, a square plus 2ab plus b square. Now the volume becomes pi, its integration is y to the power 5 over 5 plus 2 is a constant, y to the power 3 over 3 plus y, and the limits are from -1 to 2. Let me apply the limits. The upper limit is 2 and the lower limit is -1. So the volume becomes, we have pi's outside, the upper limit is 2. So 2 to the power 5 minus 5 minus plus 2 by 3 and 2 to the power 3 plus 2. This is your upper limit. Subtract the lower limit is -1. So -1 to the power 5 over 5 plus 2 by 3 minus 1 cube plus -1. Okay. Further simplification, we will get the volume is pi is outside. Simplify 2 to the power 5 is 32 divided by 5. 32 divided by 5, and this is 2 cube and multiplying by 2. 2 cube is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 divided by 3. This is 16 over 3 and plus 2 minus -1 to the power 5. So keep in mind, -1 to odd power is always negative. So this is -1 over 5, -2 by 3, and -1. Okay. Now the volume becomes pi 32 by 5 plus 16 over 3 plus 2. This is 206 over 15. Okay. And -1 over 5 minus 2 by 3 minus 1 is -28 over 15, and this minus becomes plus 28 over 15. Okay. And 20, we can say bases are same, just add the power. So 206 plus 28 divided by 15 is 78 over 5. So this is 78 over 5 pi. All right, so this is a volume of a revolution. So let me show you guys. So we have done, if I can rotate this and explain you. So we have done, when we do the if the volume and the area, we have to use the same concept. So if you need to figure out the area between the for the shaded region, so what we have to do, we need to do area of a line subtract area of a curve, because line is at the top and curve is at the bottom, right? So for the volume, we have to do the same thing, that the volume of this curve subtract the volume of this line AB minus volume under the curve. So volume of revolution is basically the volume under the curve. So you will get the shaded volume. So the shaded volume is volume of this line subtract volume under this curve, because this curve is not shaded. I hope this is clear now. So now we need to figure out, we have done volume under the curve, right? For this curve, we have done the volume under the curve, this, the unshaded one. We need to figure out what is the volume of the line. So the equation of the line AB, if we can again say, equation of line AB. So the line is y minus 2 is equals to x minus 5. So y minus 2 plus 5 would be equals to x. So y plus 3 is equals to x. So this line AB is, the equation of line AB is x is equals to y plus 3, right? So we have to find the volume of this line AB, right? The volume, we will get the volume under the line AB. So first thing, we need to find the volume under the line AB, this whole region. So under this line, so you will get the volume of this whole thing, right? And then subtract the volume under this curve, you will get the shaded one, because the volume under the curve is not included, right? So first let me find out, we have done with the volume under the curve, we haven't done the volume of the under the line. So first find volume under the line, the volume of this whole region, and then subtract volume under the curve to get the shaded one. I hope this is clear now. So same thing for volume of revolution under the line. This is the second one. The first one is this. Okay. So the same formula we have to apply, which is equals to pi integration from a to b x square and dy. So we have x, right? Now y plus 3 is your x value. Take it square. So the volume is pi integration is same from minus 1 to 2. This is y plus 3, take its whole square and dy. Okay, now the volume is pi, this integration is from minus 1 to 2 y square plus 6y plus 9. I opened a plus b whole square, which is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Now let me apply the volume. So we have pi, this is y3 over 3 plus 6y2 over 2 plus 9y from minus 1 to 2. We need to apply the limits. So the volume is pi y cube divided by 3 plus 2 times 3 is 6, 3y square plus 9y, and the limits are from minus 1 to 2. Okay. Okay, now the volume becomes pi. Upper limit is 2, so 2 cube over 3 minus 3 plus 3 into 2 square plus 9 into 2. This is your upper limit. Subtract the lower limit is minus 1 cube over 3 plus 3 into minus 1 square plus 9 into minus 1. All right. Now the volume becomes pi, and this is 2 cube is 8 over 3 plus 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 3 is 12, and 9 times 2 is 18, and negative, this is minus 1 over 3 plus 3 minus 9. Okay, now this volume in terms of pi, it becomes 8 over 3 plus 12 plus 18, 93 over 98 over 3 and we have a minus sign is outside. Now minus 1 over 3 plus 3 minus 9 is, this thing is minus and this minus becomes plus 19 over 3. Bases are same, we can add the powers, the numerators. So 98 plus 19 is 117 divided by 3 is 39 pi. So this volume is 39 pi. So we got that volume. Now how do we get the volume of revolution when the between, find the volume of revolution when the region between the curve and the line AB is rotated through 360 about y-axis. The region between the line and the curve, basically the shaded volume, right? So the volume under the line subtract volume under the curve, you will get that volume. So the volume becomes, the volume under the line is 39 pi and the volume under the curve is 78 over 5 pi. We need to subtract. Why we are subtracting? Because, so when you can see for y-axis, we have done volume under the line is 39 pi. So you will get this whole volume, but we need this shaded volume. So we need to subtract volume under this curve to get the shaded volume. So now the volume becomes, let me take pi common. So 39 minus 78 over 5. 39 minus 78 divided by 5, 117 over 5. So volume is 117 over 5 pi. This is the volume, multiply it by pi, or we can say 73.5. 73.5. Both are the correct answers for the volume. This is the exact one and this is in terms of decimal. All right, so that's for the last question of our paper. If you have any queries, please let me know in our comment section and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Take care.